What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the HXC Warcraft podcast. This is Sophist, your host. We're also here with Zista, as per usual. What's up, Zista?
I'm home.
And less tired, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm alive. I missed the green walls, though. Those were a lot of fun.
It is.
Well,
it's like you're always
I just want to let the stream guys know what we had actually planned last week for the show, but we were just too exhausted to have a lot of time. We were going to green screen my background in behind me, so you guys didn't know that I was actually still at Sophist's house, and somehow thought that I got home in time. And then I was just going to walk off the set at some point and walk into Sophist's frame, but that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, it didn't go over as well as we thought. We thought we'd have far more energy than I don't even know why we thought that, but we did. 48 hours is no big deal, whatever.
Well, we have plenty of monsters, so.
Yes, that's true. Still have a lot of those. Ugh. All right. We're also here with Indy this week. How's it going? You still playing some Hearthstone?
Yes, it's been crazy. I got addicted very quickly.
All the Hearthstone.
I started buying packs.
We need to have ourselves some like a HXC Hearthstone tournament to do that.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'm actually enjoying. I know that I started off being really addicted to the priest deck, but I am enjoying Mage and Warlock as well now. So
Mage is OP.
Not unlike WoW, I always stick with the squishy casters. It's like the same thing in Hearthstone. I'm just favoring the same.
The priest is extremely overpowered. There's just too much stuff, but
it's very hard to win with a priest against a class that's like I have a really hard time against hunters and warlocks and sometimes warriors because they'll get you need time to win with priest. In my opinion.
We'll get to that later, but yeah.
Yes, okay, so let me get off my crack of Hearthstone, because I'm addicted already.
Put the crack pipe down.
I'm putting it down for now.
Got a brand new iPad mini, playing Hearthstone on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Exciting.
We were just talking about Hearthstone.
Yeah, I've actually got this new iPad. My camera needs to...
Doesn't like the iPad.
Doing. I look orange now, but that's okay, because I'm playing Hearthstone on the iPad. That's all that matters.
Yep. So anything else new with you?
I'm playing Hearthstone on the iPad. Did you not hear me?
Oh, okay. That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, 8-bit squishy. He's had some... it's not so bad.
I don't know what's going on with it.
I have a cricket.
Maybe that'll fix itself. There it goes. Fixed better. All right, so we got quite a few things to talk about this week. Not a ton, but enough. Before we get into our typical lore segment this week, we actually have some sad news for you guys. This is going to be the last episode of the HXC Warcraft podcast.
Yep.
And the cricket. Cue the cricket.
That cricket sounds really upset.
Yep, that's it. No, it's not that bad. We are just morphing into something a little differently. We'll still be here. We are going to basically be more of a Blizzard podcast. We've just realized, especially with the Hearthstone stuff coming out, that we want to talk about a bunch of other stuff. We don't know a ton about StarCraft, so we're going to get some people in here that do know a lot. We like StarCraft. I mean, I played it. I've played it since StarCraft 1 came out, and I do enjoy watching the pros play, so it'll be fun for me to learn a little more about the competitive game. But yeah, it's basically just going to morph into... It may go a little longer every week. We're going to be more open with how long the podcast goes. But it gives us more to talk about every week. I don't know. Zisto was one of the people bringing it up.
We love to talk.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. It's cool that we get to branch out and now talk about a whole bunch of other things. Like, not like we didn't anyways. We're kind of being the same show. But now it's just not the Warcraft podcast. That's it. You guys have anything to say about that? I think that's just the thing.
I'm playing Hearthstone on the iPad.
I'm playing Hearthstone not on the iPad.
I wish I was
I'm-
on Hearthstone.
I know. I'm doing a podcast.
Okay, I was playing Hearthstone on the iPad.
Yes, we are morphing into a Megazord. A Megazord podcast. That's what. Maybe that's
Can I-
we'll change
can I
our
be the
change it. The
Dragon Zord?
HXC Megazord podcast. Maybe that's what it'll be.
Can I be the Dragon Zord?
Maybe we'll have to draw straws.
So
We'll keep this lore thing because this is cool. Speaking of this lore thing, let's get into Dire Maul this week. We decided to kind of split it up into the wings, like we've been doing, like we did with Scarlet Monastery. Just because if we didn't, how many bosses would there have been? Like 22?
Too many.
Some
is the
yeah.
difference.
ridiculous
Something like
amount.
that.
So we've got Dire Maul, Warpwood Quarter this week. Zista, did you want to give us the basic overview of what's going on over there in the Dire Maul?
Well, Dire Maul itself was built about 12,000 years ago. That's my phone now. See, I'm not shutting anything off. There we go. Okay, so Dire Maul was built about 12,000 years ago by a Covet section of the Night Elf Sorcerers. It was known as the ancient city of Eldra Thalas, and it protected basically Queen Ashara's most prized arcane secrets. And the place was pretty much ravaged apart by the Great Sundering, and much left of what the city is now is known as Dire Maul, and it's just basically the ruins of all the Highborns and stuff like that, and a bunch of factions like the Satyrs and a couple other
There's ogres and undead.
stuff like that. They all came in there, and they're struggling for a power. Well, it's more of a power struggle than struggling for power, I guess. They're trying to take all the secrets and stuff and use it. So each entity is kind of they decided instead of to fight for the entire compound that they're going to stick to their each individual sections. So that's pretty much what Dire Maul itself as an overview is.
Are there crickets in Dire Maul?
There are so many crickets in Dire Maul.
Why don't you go back to the original splash screen? That cricket is a bastard. That is boss level cricket right there.
It is. This cricket does not shut the fuck up.
So you were saying
I'm
that
trying to mute my microphone now when I'm not talking.
No, but he waited. That's what's funny.
yeah.
I just before we started the show, I just went outside and fucking sprayed the hose down all over the ground out there. And now
Water's
he's
not gonna-
pissed. So he's chirping.
He's so mad
No,
that you
here's
tried
what
to
you
kill
need
him
to do.
last
Don't
week.
crickets don't crickets chirp based on the temperature?
Yes.
Yeah, so put your
So you just
AC
need
and
to,
aim
like-
it outside.
Throw a bunch of ice cubes around your window. That's it.
I could go hit the window. If I
Okay, go hit the window. This will
it'll
be
That
enjoyable.
worked. That worked
Please,
the last
2
time.
seconds. Watch.
Yeah, please.
Watch. All right. I'm not even gonna cue my. I'm not gonna mute my mic for this. I'm gonna go over here. Right.
Oh god, this is the best
This is the new
podcast.
boss in Dire Maul, by the way. You have to pay attention.
Cricket.
And he'll shut up. Right. For 2 seconds. Got it.
No, shut up,
Stand-
cricket.
Why don't you stand by your
is like
window?
Jasper. This cricket gives 0 fucks.
Okay, so we'll try and ignore the cricket. So the thing, so basically, you said that there were factions within Dire Maul trying to get control of the whole place, and then they just after a while said, you know what, we're just gonna try and make the best out of which part we own. So the Warpwood Quarter has all the satyrs in it. Satires, all the satires.
Mm-hmm.
They have lots of books. And the cool thing that I found out when we were looking over this is that the satyrs are they're basically warped highborns. So they were twisted elves. And the main boss here will be a twisted druidic elf. But before we get to that, we'll talk about, is it Pusillan?
See, yeah, but I didn't know that. I had no clue that the satyrs were twisted elves. I knew the Naga were something to do with the. This cricket is super distracting. I knew the Naga were something to do with the high elves, but I didn't know the satyrs were at all.
Yeah, I didn't know. I really didn't. I think me and you were just going over it and we were like, oh, that makes sense. That's cool. See, we've been playing this game for how long and we don't know, like, the very basics of
I know, right?
Warcraft lore. Oh, well. Yeah, so you got... The first one is that imp that you see in there. He runs away every time you find him until you get him pinned into a corner. You used to run him for the key to get into another section of Dire Maul.
Oh, that boss is annoying.
Yeah. Pusilin, I guess.
The Runtun Tuber Surprise recipe. That was always a sought-after cooking recipe because it was BOP, so the only way to get it was to go in there and chase this little imp through the entire instance.
Yeah. And you actually found a cool little trivia thing about it, about his name.
Yeah, his name, Pusilin, is derived from Pusillanimous, which actually means cowardly. So it's rather
it's
ironic.
the fact that he runs away. A little interesting tidbit. It's also Latin for cricket. See? So you go from there to Leth Tendris. She's a blood elf that was like drawn to this area because of its its energy, and is trying to basically siphon all this energy into a web, I guess. Which we were like, I don't remember any web in this area ever. Like, it's just a quest item. Like, it's not even like this big massive thing, and it's a creepy little web. Like, if you go to the dungeon journal and read it, she uses sinews and ligaments of sacrificed victims to spin this web. So that is absolutely disgusting. If that was in a horror movie, imagine how gross that would be. Like, that's
I would
awful.
love to see that.
That
You
is
would also
that
love
is
to see your
nasty.
cricket squashed in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
See, I went out earlier today, right? And I went to the window. I was like, I'm going to find this cricket in the daylight, because it was chirping early day, too. So I went over, and I was listening. So I stomped, and the thing jumped up onto my leg. And I was like, aha! And I left it there, and I walked to the other side of the yard and flicked it off. And I was like, I got rid of it. It's gone. No, it found its way home.
Did you learn your lesson? You need to spin a web of cricket parts
I'm going
and put it near that window.
I'm going to Home Depot tomorrow, and I'm getting cricket killer.
Do they sell those? Is it illegal?
Oh my god.
You're gonna be
So
committing
anyway,
cricket homicide.
Why don't you just look up the lifespan of a cricket and see
you
how
just
much
time it.
longer?
So you
the next
after
boss,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
the next boss you come across is Hydraspawn, which you have a satyr in the dungeon. Now I have my cat crying in the other room, so I just can't win all around.
The zoo. It's Tokyo Jungle. It's taking over.
We should have done Tokyo Jungle at my house instead. Jesus Christ. Okay, so you have a satyr, Zevrim Thornhoof, who he's able to control all the elements within Dire Maul. So he focused on Hydraspawn, water elemental, who is this calm elemental that reside in the pool under Zevrim's altar. So as he kept performing his sacrificial rituals, the elemental grew agitated and restless, and it just kept striking out all the demons. And so Thornhoof had this brilliant idea to start whipping this elemental into a fury and just started sending minions in after it. So he's basically just trying to piss this thing off, so it's very volatile and will just like attack anything that comes near it.
He just pissed it off until it basically was so mad that it did what it wanted, even if it didn't really want to. He just poked it. It's angry! Poke it with a stick.
Yeah, it's like
That
poking
guy.
a cricket's nest with a stick. I mean, bee's hive.
Then you get to that. Then the next boss is that satyr, Zevrim Thornhoof. He's the guy that pissed off that water elemental over and over and over and over and over. And he's kind of another gross. Like, this whole place is filled with just like sick, demented people. Like, he just sits upstairs and sacrifices people on an altar next to him so that he can control all the elements and all the. He has old iron bark in his grasp. Yeah, he just uses a sacrificial altar to control basically all the ancients in Dire Maul, which is kind of gross. Like, this whole place would be an interesting, like, if this was live action, like, they would be nasty.
This is
I don't know if
this
I'd
is the
wanna
World
go
of Warcraft
here.
movie. It's a horror
Yeah.
film.
Exactly. Like, this is some dark stuff that like I didn't realize was in Dire Maul. I just like see ogres and like, yeah, no, this is pretty gross.
The
So
end
there's
boss
not
is
really
pretty
too much to him other than that like he's trying to show his worth to the Burning Legion. He's trying to control everything in Dire Maul, and to do that he realizes that he needs to sacrifice people to control the Ancients to control Dire Maul. But still, he's not the end boss. Once you kill him, is it Ironbark? Old Ironbark actually allows you access to Alzin the Wild Shaper. If you wanted to give us a rundown of what this guy does, or what he's here for.
So, Alzin the Wild Shaper, he just wants to totally corrupt Feralis, and up until the point where he discovered the Shrine of the Eldrathar, I don't know how to pronounce that. In Dire Maul, he didn't have very much success, so he used the power of the Ancients, and I just can't win today. This is a train wreck. I'm punning myself.
Train?
Yes. Oh my god. So
Have you checked your computer for?
he's gone.
I think he's just conceded.
I think he's actually going outside. He's going to find this cricket and like pull it apart
You
piece
should
by
have just
piece.
turned the webcam, like brought the webcam with him, and make an interactive journey.
Oh, like the crocodile hunter.
He's back, and the cricket's gone.
Did you just check? What did you just do?
I let the cat upstairs so it stopped crying.
Yeah, but the
'cause
cricket
stopped.
stopped.
I had muted the mic before I left.
It's not going right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is impressive. Maybe the cat's getting it.
Maybe.
So
Okay.
you took out that bug from your system.
Oh Jesus. Okay, so basically he's using the corrupted ancients to do what now?
He's using their power to pull all the power of the forest into the lair to manipulate everything at will. So he's got when you kill him, he drops the plant behind him drops the shards of the Felvine, and you have quests to actually take these and you bring them back, and the whole point is to purify them to restore Dire Maul back. That's your goal to defeat him.
Okay, so he's tainted basically the entire place, and like I said, he's just the leader of this one section. So I guess if you were to run this place from beginning to end, your goal is to take back control of each section by conquering each faction vying for control of the whole place, because it does apparently, it still has, all the ancient books and magical essence, I guess, of the Highborn elves.
Right.
So there is a lot of worth there. Just it's kind of been forgotten. And
yeah, and in the next wing, which we'll talk about next week, is where we actually come across the old library. So.
Yep. All right. So do you guys remember running this? Like when you were this place was actually, I had a lot of fun running this. I at like when I was leveling, this was a place I remember because you would go there. There were the different wings back in vanilla. You also had the like arena in the middle. Do you remember that, Squishy? You had that like arena in the middle of outside
like
there?
outside the instance.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
You could like drop down and was it? Did it allow you to fight people of your own faction? I don't remember. I think it flagged you.
It was so long ago.
I'm pretty sure that you were fair game. If
Like,
you
if
were
you
down
went
there,
there.
you just got the flag.
You got flagged. So I was on a PvP server, so it didn't really matter. But I think it was the arena outside Zista of Dire Maul. Did it flag you for combat with everyone?
No.
I
It
thought
didn't
did.
PvP flag you, but if you dropped down into it, you were attackable. Because there was a quest, I remember there being a quest, and I vaguely remember that going there for paladins.
Yeah, I think it was a thing. But I
And
just
think
remember
that
like
it
that's
had
one of the
something
cool
to
parts.
do with their epic mount.
I don't think it did.
Or maybe it was the warlock that needed something from there.
The
I think the
warlock was in the
warlocks.
next wing, which we'll talk about next week.
Right.
That was inside, where you actually had to fight that demon.
Yeah,
Um,
last guy.
there was kind of a little arena out there, and the way
Yeah.
it would work is a boss would spawn, and he was a rare, and he would announce to the Dire Maul zone, and you would go in and fight him. And I was on a PvP server, so I guess I can't be 100% sure, but I'm almost positive that this was not something that flagged you in for PvP combat.
I was PvE at the time, and it did the same thing as Stranglethorn, where if you
Yeah.
entered it, it gave you that little sword.
Oh, you are right. It's similar to the Gurbashi Arena and Stranglethorn Vale, and that the free-for-all PvP combat is permitted within its confines.
Yes, I knew it.
See, but
It
for
wasn't
you, it did,
big-
like you really,
for
it
us-
didn't make a difference.
Right,
for me,
right.
it was like I was on a crap server, so it was the end of the world when you got flagged.
Yep. So I remember that being a thing. I just remember Dire Maul being one of the first instances that I was like, whoa, this place is kind of huge. Like, there's a lot to do in here, and getting lost and
Getting
it being,
lost.
Yes.
Getting lost in that place
where
was
to go?"
not nearly as bad as some of the other ones, like
That's true.
Nomer
Outside
was horrible
Run.
for getting lost.
Yeah.
Black Fathom Deeps just trying to get into the entrance there. That was super bad.
Yep. Super bad. Yeah, but I do remember it being pretty fun though. Like I remember it being one of the first times that I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I wanna come back there. But like it wasn't like Scarlet Monastery where I went and ran a whole bunch of times. You had to like make an effort because you had to get your friends together to go do it, or it wasn't worth just going there to see if you could find a group while you were there. I think that's it though. I mean, do you guys? Anything that I forgot? I don't. There wasn't anything other than, like you said, the Warlock stuff. We'll talk about next week. I think that's it. So let's talk about some updates that they're going to be coming at some point. Maybe the new character models. Guys, they're 25% done.
That far?
I don't like how it feels like they've been working on these things working. I don't know, when they say they're working on it, maybe they haven't been for too long, and then they were like, shh. So like 4 years ago we were like, hey, we're gonna work on new character models, and we haven't really been doing it, so should we do that soon?
Alright, hold on.
maybe?
Let's figure out exactly what 20% means. How many races are there? Take the Goblins, the Worgans, and the Pandaren out of this equation. So we have Blood Elves, Draenei,
10.
right? Human, is it 10? Is that sure that it's 10? Okay. So
It's
10.
the original races.
Multiply that. One for each male, female. That's 20.
Mhm.
Okay. 20% of 20 means that they finished. How many? 4?
It's a little over 4, yeah.
So we know that they finished the male ogres. They're not ogres. Male orcs.
Do you know something we don't?
Garrosh. Garrosh's model is the same model as an
Orc.
as
No,
an
I
orc.
know.
No, they
yeah.
have.
You said ogre.
Yeah. So we know that they
It's a
finished
joke.
ogre.
The-
Orcs.
They haven't
Crickets.
said that because remember they have to do the eyebrows, the eyes, the mouth. They said in the interview that they want to make sure that your character still looks like your
For
character.
the most part, I'm saying the major aspects of the model, the polygon counts and all that, the little details, the hairstyles, all that, maybe not. But the basics of it and the animations and all that. You have the orc is completed. You have the male troll is pretty much done. You could kind of base it on what we've seen from the Zandalari trolls. The female trolls as well. So that's 3 right there, and guess what? They're all horde. So I don't know what the 4th one could be. Maybe humans. I don't know.
Humans need it bad. Oh, humans are rough.
As Varian and all them been updated? Like, does anybody know if those models themselves have been updated?
I don't know. We don't really know too much, I don't think, other than what they've said. 25%. 25% is still seems very.
I mean, out of what
not-
we see in the game,
Yeah.
have the human models been updated?
I don't think so.
So
other
Varian
thing
is still
is-
the same as everybody else and all that?
We don't. Who looks at Varian?
Because
I know
some
the
stuff
Night
has been
Elves- The
updated.
Night Elves were
Some-
kind of updated too, with the dragon aspects in Cataclysm. We saw.
Yeah,
we
but
saw
that
some
stuff,
of them.
some of that stuff is not what they're going to be. Like they've made new like models for them, but they're not going to use that for the character models because you need to basically redesign them. I think from the ground up. So
Well, I'm also surprised they actually gave a response. Not soon.
Yeah.
Here.
at 25%, they're risking like this reaction.
Yeah.
Like they might as well have just said, "Yeah, it's going to be soon." I mean, they've already done it for so
Again,
long.
People
So.
would have been like, well, it's just them telling us soon again, so I guess it's soon.
And they did.
Yeah.
They did say that they were going to update the Blood Elves and the Draenei as well with this.
Right. They actually just see Titan's just World of Warcraft remade, so 25%. So now we're only 75% of the way to Titan.
It's another Deathwing.
Yes. No, you know what? They also have remade Onyxia again. Maybe that's it. Like that's a part of the percent. I don't know. Like I was just surprised. Like like Squishy said that they were like, yeah, 25%. Like that was probably maybe immediately after they went, yeah, probably shouldn't have said that. I don't know. I would have waited till I was like, yeah, like next patch.
We're like 80% done.
Yeah, we're just testing some things, and you'll see it. I don't know. Well, there's that. Aside from that, what else did we hear this week? We heard that item Squishy is almost coming.
Ooh,
It's
Squishy's
almost
item?
here.
He's getting an item
Yes.
named after him.
Yeah, it's a cricket.
the item Squish.
It's a cricket
all
bat.
the numbers. They're gonna condense all that stuff apparently. Squishy, did you want to just go over like what we've heard that?
Yeah, so
That's
the
leading us to
item
think.
Squish, at Gamescom, Tom Schoen and Corey Stockton basically said that the item Squish is probably going to happen in the next expansion. Because if it doesn't, they got to go through the whole re-engineering their code thing to make bigger numbers. Because, and insert computer mumbo jumbo here, stuff happens if you have too big numbers, such as
Y2K.
It's actually really funny. There's a case of that right now. On Raden, 25-man heroic. There's a mechanic which increases both his current health and his max health by 10%. If you let too many of those mechanics through, you can kill the ad that does it. And if you let too many of those go through, his max health overflows the amount of bites, and it actually makes him unkillable. Because the boss
Just says,
doesn't actually know
infinite.
what his health pool is at. It's actually really interesting.
That's kind of cool. That's the stuff that I think is interesting. I guess maybe going into
Yeah,
some
that would suck
programming.
though. He failed to kill Raden because his health overflew.
Whoops! We made him invulnerable. My bad.
It is gonna suck to not be able to hit for like 1 million damage, but I think it's needed.
Well, obviously, if they're having problems with people becoming invulnerable because number's too big. Number too big. You infinite health pool. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It's kind of. I mean, that's fine by me. It's gonna be a little weird though if that happens next expansion, where you're like, I was doing like 300,000 DPS. Now I'm doing 14.
100.
I crit for 300. Yeah. Like
I just
I'm gonna
crit
be
my
like, I
kills.
remember the days when I crit for tons. Whatever. It's fine. I don't mind. I mean, we all played or at least me and Zista played in vanilla when it was it's all relative
game was
at this
harder.
point. Yeah.
Back in
More
my
when it was more
That's what I
inconvenient.
say.
Oh Jesus! Don't get Indy started on this. Get off my lawn!
From rating AQ, and I was on my mage, and I actually have the fraps files when I hit my first crit for over 1K. And that was a big
Over
deal.
1,000.
I actually came across a video not too long ago back with my raid team back in Molten Core. So
Back in your day?
back in my day.
Back in my day.
when
Yes,
crickets
there's some
didn't
old
exist.
videos. There's a
Stay
video
a
of me
while
on
and
YouTube
listen.
where we did 10 mage Warsong Gulch. That's a funny one to watch in vanilla when we're like all flame striking and it's hitting for like some god awfully small number, but it's still killing people. I don't know. It's needed. If it's needed, it's needed. I don't have a problem with it. Whatever. Smaller numbers. Everyone's going to be doing smaller numbers, so it's not a
And
big deal in my eyes.
They also said that they're probably going to push the item squish on the patch before the pre-expansion patch, so players can get used to it before the expansion actually launches,
That's smart.
which I
That
think
seems
is a good
smart to me.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have one more tier, Siege of Orgrimmar, and then they're going to push the item squish after. And it's going to be interesting because they
much do
said
you
it's
think that'll
not. They
break?
said it's not going to affect solo content. So if you think about it, let's say they scale down like us to 10k. Does that mean like AQ they're going to be doing like 100 damage to you? Like
It's gonna be
50
really
damage
weird.
to you?
Go to like AQ40 and they're like,
Yeah, like
I-
the
I-
like the level 60 instances, or like okay, think about it.
what if they just don't touch it?
Level 1, mobs hit you for what? 2 damage?
Yeah.
How much lower can you go?
What if
No,
they just like
Go into
don't-
attractions.
What if they just don't touch that stuff? Like they just say,
They
you
can
know what,
hit
that
you
shit's
for
harder.
0.00001 damage.
Ow. I don't even want to know. It
And then
crit
you
me
sneeze
for
on them and they die.
0.6. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be weird. It'll be interesting to see. I really want to see how they do it. Do they
Yeah.
just say, you know what, screw it. Level 1 is like level 1 again. They just scale it like they did 1 to 60, except now they've scaled it 1 to 90.
See, but here's the thing. They also said that not to expect another raid tier before the next expansion. They definitely have an expansion pack, and they kind of danced around the fact that we may get another one-off boss between now and then. So I'm
probably
probably
Ragnaros.
going to expect that we're going to see another boss, and that's probably going to be around the same time that they do the item squish, if that's the case.
To test, yeah, then they would be able to test the numbers and give them some information for the beta, for, you know, next expansion stuff.
It's Onyxia.
It's Onyxia.
They're going to save Onyxia for the
Reanimated.
big 10-year. Guaranteed.
The Onyxia.
Oh
It's
my
just the whole
God.
expansion is about Onyxia. Zombie Onyxia.
That's actually the name of the next expansion pack, Onyxia's Revenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh god. Alright. So what else? Some more Warcraft news this week. Speaking of things being cancelled, that trading card game, S no more. No more. I
a
wonder
shame.
why. I think
I
maybe
don't know.
it was
It's just out of the blue.
So Hearthstone's out. I don't know if you know that.
No, not out, but,
But no,
in
the
beta.
beta, yeah. But it's coming out and it's in beta now, and I think they just were like, you know, we're just gonna, you know, put our. It saves them money if they have 2 card games. That's a little weird, right? And so Hearthstone is all digital. That means they no longer have to print cards and pay that fee to have a factory print cards for them. It just makes sense. I don't know. Plus, it turned into this, like, it seemed to me that the Warcraft trading card game was just a way to get loot in game.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like for a lot of people, they were like, "I'll buy this pack, get this loot card. That's cool. The rest of it can go in this drawer, and if someone ever wants it, they can have it."
See, and here's the cool thing with the last release of the trading card game. When I was looking at this before they even announced that this was the last one, they were doing it's more of a Cabins of Time themed deck for this final raid tier or whatever for the cards, and all of the loot in it is all the loot from all the previous ones. So if they're going to go
That's
out
cool.
with it, they might as well do this because everything is now in this deck. Everything from the Spectral Tiger to the Riding Turtle from the very, very first one. So
That's cool.
at least now they can go out with a bang, giving you the ability to get all the final, all the previous loot cards.
I agree with that. I like how they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're just saying, it's going to be the last one. You get a chance to see everything that we've all like ever done for that, as far as that kind of content goes. I don't know. Did any of you guys ever play the TCG? I didn't.
No, but I
I
have
used to buy packs to
I
try
have
to
a
get
deck
loot
right here.
cards.
I have this Through the Dark Portal starter deck. I've actually never even played it,
The
but
extent of my play was opening packs for loot cards.
I can actually open this up right now and look through.
Yeah,
Look, there's this giant. They give you these 3 giant cards. Look at this thing. This is not.
They do
a
that in
small
Magic.
card.
Some Magic, they do oversized cards and that.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I went through it. Here's some of the cards here. So
Are
I
there
have
dice?
them. I've just never actually played them.
Are there dice? Do they give you dice? I just want to know.
No, no, there's no dice in here.
All right, so I mean that's I mean Warcraft, like we said, has been kind of low key, not tons of news, but they have kicked it up in other departments.
There is some big piece of news, Sophist.
Oh, go ahead.
You don't remember? Patch 5.4 got a release date.
That's true. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. That's right. Go ahead.
How could you forget, Sophist? God.
I thought we talked about it last week.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
remember last week.
Read the show notes.
I am.
Yeah, our show notes. Yeah, so patch 5.4 is being released on September 10th, which is 2 weeks from this Tuesday, if you're watching this podcast live.
Just before my birthday.
It's an
Happy
exciting
birthday to
time.
me.
We get Proving Grounds, we get the Timeless Isle, we get the new raid, lots of stuff to do, as well as the new PvP season for those who aren't into the PvE side of things. And
Going back a few episodes when you guys all took wagers on how many times I would die in the opening week,
oh my gosh.
I would just like to reaffirm my statement that I will not be playing the first week, just so your numbers are all skewed. The day the patch comes out,
Oh.
did you really just start the live recording?
Maybe.
Anyway, the day the patch comes out, after we were just talking about Sophis not hitting the button in pre-show,
Oh, so good. It's fine.
but to
we're good.
reaffirm my statement of not playing within the first week, the day the patch comes out is also the day Kingdom Hearts 1.5 comes out. So I will be playing
still
that
have-
and not playing World of Warcraft patch
You sure?
5.4. Yes.
Not even flex rating.
No. Not on the first day. Nope.
Well, I meant in the first week.
First week, yeah, I'll be playing the patch. I'm just not going to the Timeless Isle.
Well, we
Oh, was
can
that
move the
bet?
bets
I
back.
don't even remember what that was.
Yeah, the
We
bet
can
was the
move it
Timeless
back.
Isle.
We can move it back. The first week that Zista's there.
Okay.
Whoa!
I've got it. We got this. We have Sophis says 10 times. Squishy says 13. Ro has 4. Kigash has over 9,000. Squirrel has 6. Sev has 17. Kredex 18. Thade went from 12 to 21. Lost faith in you. Zista says 0. And Goofy says 3. Zista, I think you're wrong because you have to die to do an achievement there. So
That
don't
was
think
only
you're
in the
gonna-
beta. That's not
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through it alive.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's just that you're now on a more populated server that can actually get Ordos down. That'd be impressive.
True. Fuck.
May want to do that the first day. Not gonna lie. I'll yell
won't
at
be
you
on the first
so you
day.
can log on, okay?
Gonna have to
I
keep
won't be
that
honest.
death counter up so we know.
Yeah, I'll just yell at you, then you can come on like you normally do anyways. But yeah, so 5.4 that week.
It's gonna be exciting.
I think that's gonna bring all of us back to the game a lot more often.
Probably. I've been noticeably absent from the game for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
As have I.
I know my guild's pretty much Throne of Thunder. No. Yeah.
So what else we got? Oh, their lack of Warcraft news has actually been replaced by some other news. They
Well, I just want to point out, I also have not been playing Warcraft much this past few weeks, and I'm actually, according to Raptor, I have 83 hours played on Hearthstone.
that's impressive. I need to reinstall that. It's helpful. Has a lot of hours on Hearthstone already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've spent probably
I
around
couldn't
that.
stop. I don't know how many
Can't
hours
stop.
I have, but I just couldn't stop.
I've been playing, just not as much. I still love League of Legends, so that's the thing. But the other Blizzard news this week was Diablo 3. New expansion, Reaper of Souls.
Yeah?
For those of you that haven't seen it, go check out the cinematic. In my opinion, the Diablo cinematics are always by far and away their best cinematics of any of the games.
100%.
Like, they have some epic movies that go with their stuff, and they always like blow me away, and this one was no different. Like I thought it was so good,
The
and it made us
cinematic
want
at
to play
BlizzCon
Diablo.
was awesome when they
Yeah, it made us
actually
wanna play
unveiled
again.
it.
Me and Squishy have played. We were playing earlier today, actually. It brought us back to the game, and it's actually,
Yeah.
if you ask me, Squishy, it's vastly improved from when they did the original.
Oh
release.
yeah, completely. You know,
I think I
wasn't
tried
getting.
it and
Go ahead.
quit. When it came out, I tried it and quit, and everybody says I should give it
Yeah.
another try.
At this point, you
Definitely.
should. Now, there is some things that are still deal breakers for people that they haven't implemented, like PvP. There is like a thing where you can go in and fight someone, but it's not the full-fledged like arena that they had promised. Like that is a deal breaker for a lot of people. In my opinion, that's not why I really played Diablo. I just enjoyed the hack and slash, the grind,
Oh yeah.
getting in there with a group of friends and just see what you can do. And now that they have the Paragon levels, they have the different levels of Inferno, not just the one that just, poops on you. It's actually there's levels of it. Not like, hey, welcome to Inferno. Oh,
Everything one shots you. Have fun dodging those wasps.
yeah. The one thing they
I still
can't.
think we need to get on there and start doing some hardcore characters.
I still
Our
have mine
viewers
from
would
when we did
love
it.
that, especially watching me try to stay alive.
Yeah. The one thing they can't really go back on, I don't think, is the real money auction house, which is kind of a shame. Like, I don't think that's. It was kind of I think it was just a misfire. They didn't really need to have it. An auction house might have been nice, but it's still a little. But the game as a whole, way better. Way better. Way more fun. And we got in there with a group of 3. If you get in there with a group of 3 or 4 people, it's super fun.
I remember us yelling and laughing about us dying 8 times to a single stack of blues and then never dying for the rest of the run.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we get in there, we're like, this might be too hard, let's see. Those guys, I'm the barbarian, so I'm supposed to be like, tanky-ish. And I'm running in, and I'm just getting pooped on. With like literally running into dying. And I had just repaired my gear. It breaks within the first 2 minutes of this level. But once we got through there, like every once in a while, still the same problem. You run into a pack of blues that just is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's odd that the blue monsters can be much harder than like the other ones, like the ones like the bosses. Like the bosses are still not as hard as this pack of random mobs that show up that are just awful.
Yeah, they're
But
some of
So
them.
the story from this game, it seems like Malthael, the fallen archangel rather, of wisdom, is in possession of the Black Soul Stone, and he comes in, swoops up, takes the stone, and flies away. But something interesting that Squishy actually pointed out to me was Tyrael has his sword, and what is the special properties of this sword, Squishy?
This wasn't me. But
You
I'll take credit for it.
you mentioned it to me. You're the one that brought it to my attention, anyway.
What?
You were the one that were talking to me about it.
I've never talked to anyone about the cinematic.
You were telling I don't know how else I heard about a sword. It was you that told it to me. You were the only other
well,
person.
do you
I
know
talked to
anything about the
this.
sword? Because I don't.
This is awkward. It was Can't Heals. There you go.
Was it can't?
Completely like me.
Really? Okay. I'm out of it then. So
It's the cricket. Get over it.
it is the cricket.
It's the cricket.
Cricket's ruining everything. Alright, so it was can't heal. Sorry about that. So the Tyrael sword has this ability that it can go through anything that does not have righteous intent. Like, it'll kill, stab, whatever, anything that does not have righteous intentions. However, you see Malthael, his body, go right through Tyrael's blade, and it does nothing. So that means that Malthael actually has righteous intention. Something that he plans with this soul stone. So that kind of throws a whole spin on this, because he seems like a villain, but he's doing it for the right reason. So his intentions are good, but there's still something off with him, still making us go after him. So that kind of puts it in a weird position, because he's this evil entity, but he's not at the same time. At least he believes he's not. So that could be why the sword is acting up. But
I'd be interested. Like, I think the storyline in this game is actually really cool. Like, I really enjoy a lot. Even though the game is so simple, like, I like. This is probably my favorite of all the
and going
like
back to
storyline.
the Diablo 2 expansion. The finale on that, they destroy the World Stone and says it's going to have serious consequences that we can't imagine. I think the destruction of the World Stone is actually what caused Malthael to fall in the first place. That's just my opinion.
I don't know. I'd have to look more into it. That's cool. Though.
So
it's interesting.
He's now known as the Angel of Death. So
Death.
they're going to add a fifth act. I know that much. They're going to add changes to the Paragon system. I believe they said something about it being account-wide now. I'm not 100%
cool.
sure on that.
They're
Really cool. Adding stuff called Nephilim Trials, which they're basically give players more challenging content. There's going to be new modes like loot runs and different things like that. So
cool.
they're packing a lot into this.
Yeah, I hope they actually also add another class. Like, I hope they do it like they did with Diablo releasing the initial. Like, I hope they do this and another one. Like, with this expansion, like, I think that would be really cool. And the new class that they're adding looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, me and you watched the video of the gameplay, Zista, and you were like, this new class looks pretty sweet. Like,
yeah, it's the new class is called the Crusader, and it's an offshoot of the Paladins. And there's a whole bunch of actual lore already available on it. I don't know it offhand. I did not really look into it, but it's something along the lines of they're this elite group of paladins that did not break, like they broke off from the rest, but they didn't like leave like the other ones went and kind of wandered a little bit. These ones stayed. They're specialized in certain areas, and there's only 2 at a time according to the lore. I don't know if that means that there's multiple groups of 2, but they're paired in 2. There's apprentice and a master, and once the master dies, the apprentice becomes the master and takes on another apprentice. So I like that kind of story. It's kind of got a Jedi kind of feel to it.
yeah. I think it's cool. I hope they do another one. And then, I don't know if it might have been you that we were talking about this. If you go based on that leaked document from a few years ago, that has a lot of that stuff has been according to timeline. There will be another Diablo expansion, which would be that's kind of exciting to me. I don't think they've ever done 2 expansions for a Diablo game.
No, this would be the first time. Even the first Diablo had the unofficial one. They had Hellfire. That was actually made by Sierra, which made the Kingdom Quest games, which those were a lot of fun. And then the second one was the first time they had an official expansion, which was Lord of Destruction. And now this one, we have Reaper of Souls and some second one supposed to be coming out. Probably, I would say, a year after this one.
Well, when does the document say?
I believe
I'd have to look that up.
I don't have the document in front of me, but I believe it is 1 year after the release of this one.
That document is so old, yet continues to be so accurate with everything.
It's ridiculous.
But the movie. And that was because it just changed directives. But
and then Titan, now that they've talked to us
right.
about some other things, but it's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. So,
all right. So do you guys want to
loot runs? Do you want to say more about what they are?
I don't know much more about what they
Nephilim
are. I think
Trials?
I would assume the loot runs are just like a separate like thing that you can go on, like as opposed to just making your own loot run, being like, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go run Act 3 or whatever.
No, what they said is you get 15 to 20 minutes around there, in a completely random dungeon. That's random mobs, random weather with random bosses, and it's multi-tier.
Cool.
So you'll have different levels to go through, and once the timer's up, you just get sent out. So I think that's pretty awesome.
That's epic.
Well,
that's like the ultimate of like what I like to do in that game.
Right.
That's
It's like kind of like in World of Warcraft, the treasure room right now. Just going around and opening as much shit as possible, and you're typed. So you have that feeling of urgency to get as much loot as possible, and that's kind of awesome. Also, with the Diablo expansion, one of the more frustrating things in Diablo is loot and what's on your loot. Because when you identify an item, sometimes it just doesn't have the stats you want. It has all 3 stats: strength, dex, intelligence, and you really don't want that. And then sometimes it has a random attribute, such as like a class-only specific.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like a barbarian belt that has like a ton of intellect on it, and you're like,
right, and then it has like, this spell does cost less, and you're just like, why do I need that? So they're changing the way that works in the expansion. They're making it basically class specific, which is awesome. And they're making
really cool.
legendaries drop more often. So loot will be coming. More loot will be dropping that's useful, basically.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I know that was initially a huge problem with the game too. Like the legendaries, you'd get a legendary, and it would just have like crap stats on it. You're like,
Exactly.
sweet legendary, bro. Like I got a monk legendary that has a bunch of intellect and a bunch
Yeah.
of. You're like,
The
"Oh,
other
cool."
really cool thing is at Gamescom, where this was basically announced, there was a playable version there. Not much of a playable version, but there was, and you could play the Paladin, the Crusader. So that 100% means not only are we going to have more info at BlizzCon, but we'll have a playable version at BlizzCon.
That would be really cool.
And
I'm looking
even
now. I'm
further
looking
news-
forward to that.
Even further news on top of that, they said beta by the end of the year.
That's awesome. Oh man, so what do you think the chances are we go to BlizzCon and they announce a second class, and both classes are playable?
See, I don't think they're going to add a second class. I personally don't.
No.
I think they will. They did in the last one. They did in the other expansion
What other expansion?
for Diablo 2.
Diablo 2 only had the Barbarian.
No, what? In the expansion? No, you got the assassin and the druid in the expansion. Cricket's agreeing with me. You can ask chat.
The crickets are a really good addition right now.
It's true. I'm right.
I can't help in this conversation.
Barbarian was a vanilla class, see?
Was it? Oh yeah, because
Yes.
the whole actors are on the Barbarians. Okay, so yeah, that may be the case.
I would not be surprised if that happened. I would be really actually that would make like my weekend if they
Well, if that's the
announced
case, if
second
they
class.
do that, they give us 2 classes. They're gonna have to give us 2 more for the next one,
Mhm.
which they could still
That's fine.
do. But it seems they pretty much have everything covered at this point. The Paladin class is basically the Crusader, but the Crusader seems a little more overpowered to me.
They could,
We'll just
they
have to
could
see how
do
it plays
more
out.
Stuff. They could do more stuff. Anyways, we'll get into that. Maybe we'll hit on that next
Yeah.
week. We'll touch
So-
on that a little bit more.
The-
Did you guys go ahead? Did you have anything else?
I was gonna say the last thing is the new Paragon system, which I think is awesome. So the new level cap is 70, and then once you do that, every time you level again, it's the Paragon system's account wide and no longer has a cap. And then what it is you have different sections. You have core, attack, defense, and utility. And each one you're allowed to assign different points every time you leveled up. So, or level your Paragon up. So you can increase your intelligence, dex, strength, and what's the last one? Vitality. Vitality up to 50 times with your Paragon levels. Attack, you can increase your attack damage, etc. Your crit, stuff like that. You know, just your general Diablo stats. But for every time, additionally, you level up past 70. So it's kind of an infinite progression. And this is
That's
account
cool.
wide too, so all your characters can have that. Like for example,
So if you attack,
Yeah,
if you level your core, the core ability, your core stats for whichever class you're playing at max level will be upgraded.
right.
That's
So
cool.
for I think you can get your currently they showed you can get your strength, dex, vitality, and intelligence up to plus 250 when you upgrade it 50 times.
Yikes!
So that's a lot of free stats that you get just from, well, not really free. I guess you have to level it up. But I think that's a huge improvement over the current one, which is you gain like 1 stat in each, and you gain some magic find, which I guess is
I
kinda
like the
cool.
magic find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
I'm
the
not gonna
Magic
say
Find
no.
Plus. At least it's better than Call of Duty's prestige system, where you get wiped.
Do you
every
wanna
time
start
you
over?
hit that's awful.
Let's start over.
So-
Yay!
But the other thing that's interesting is the Nephilim trials. They really haven't given too much information out on that. What do you guys think it is? It just seems like it's more end game content, but
Nephilim trials.
I don't know what it could be.
It could just be like similar to. I don't want to say similar to the Proving Grounds, but it would just be like specific challenges, like something you need to do, like Nephilim trials. So it'd be like you need to
Live X
do
waves.
these. check these boxes to complete this trial, like whatever those boxes may be. So
Please.
yeah, just like give you more of a quest as opposed to just go kill things. So that I think that would be cool to me. I don't know. Either way, it's giving us more to do at the end game, which basically when Diablo, like some problems that people had with Diablo was that you get in there and you're like, I have Inferno, but Inferno is pooping on me, so there's really not much for me to do here. I really don't want to spend money on the auction house, so I'm done. I mean, I did it for a while, but it got a little old. But this may give you more of a variety of stuff to do. And like we said earlier, like when you're in there with friends, it just becomes much more fun. So if you can get your friends involved, then I think having more variety is really good. Plus more classes to level. Leveling classes in Diablo is more fun than I realized. Like it's weird. I enjoy it. I don't know. Do you guys want to touch on Hearthstone this week?
Yeah,
Or do
definitely.
you want to
Just
call
a
it?
little, yeah.
Okay, we can talk a little bit about it. So I know you guys want to talk about a couple things. Let's touch on that coin. You guys like that coin?
The coin, it just seems a little overpowered to me. I love the coin. I love it. But that's the problem. It just seems way too overpowered. The fact that it counts as a spell is ridiculous because you have cards like the Questing Adventure that proc off of it. And that's ridiculous in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have, like, Squishy was the one that actually showed me this combination for the Rogue. If you have is it the Defias Bandit?
Defias something.
It's something like that. It's a card that
Rogue only.
it costs 2, right? Costs 2 mana. So if you start out with it on your first turn and you have the coin, so that means you go second. You start out with that. You use the coin, and the Defias Bandit has a combo that triggers on him that summons a 2/1. He's a 2/3, and he summons a 2/1 with a combo. So you drop him down, and then if you happen to have Shadow Step in your hand, which is a 0 mana cost, you Shadow Step him back into your deck, and then you play him again because he now costs 0 mana. On your first turn, you have a 2/3 and 2 2/1s. You have 6 damage to do on turn 2. It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have
I
some
like
spell
it.
power cards too in my mage deck that are given like +2 attack just from me using my coin, and I actually did it on accident because I didn't realize at first that it would count. So
Yeah.
And
I mean, I like it.
I think
There's
it
a
would be
lot of-
balanced a little better if either they removed it as a spell, so it didn't count as a spell.
Oh, absolutely. That has to go.
And number 2, you don't get an extra card. You start out with 3 cards. The 4th card you get is your coin, and then on that turn you draw a 5th card. That should
Yeah.
not happen. You should not
That's
draw that
probably-
extra card.
That's probably where I'm at as far as that goes, because it is a little ridiculous. Oh, by the way, it counts as a spell. You know what you can do? I did earlier. I knew a mage
Okay.
played a secret on me, right? I knew it was counterspell. I knew I had to wipe his board. I played the coin and it canceled it.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I hate trying to find out what the secret is on a mage.
I hate secrets.
On the mage is the hardest one to determine what it is, but
It's terrible. I
The only
love it,
secret
but
I
at the
play as
same
a
time-
mage is the one that summons a copy of your next minion.
I was doing the arena last night, and I went up against a mage. I'm not kidding you. The mage had 5 secrets on it at one point, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Isn't that kind of
Right.
risky though?
3 of them
See, here's-
were copy minion.
Yeah, but well, I guess that's fine.
Here's-
But in the time that it takes to cast all those secrets, you could just do direct damage and
You
you're
could.
playing
Yeah,
a rogue.
well,
You could.
No,
but
it's
at the
good.
same time, you get so paranoid over these secrets that you start playing differently because you're like,
You have- yeah.
"Is this the one that destroys my minion?" So now I don't want to attack with my 6/6. I want to try to get a lower minion out. I want to try to attack it with a 1/1 or a 2/1 or something.
Yeah.
And waste it. Then you don't want to summon your big guy.
I hate
You think it's going to be a
secrets.
copy. You don't want to. You don't want to toss a spell out that's going to do like damage to kill one of its minions because you think it's going to be a counter spell, and then it turns out that they might have all 6 of their secrets are +8 armor, and you're like, I hate you. I just wasted
Yeah.
6 turns not attacking you when I could have been attacking you the whole time.
See, this isn't that much different than any other card game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I actually don't like it as much as being able to choose. Like, the fact that they have a secret and that you can just bait it out, like, just willingly, if you know, like I did. I was like, I know that's a counter spell.
Yeah.
I know it is. I'm going to get rid of it and then wipe your board. I would prefer to be able to decide when you have this secret used.
That's the kind of strategy, though. But
yeah, I don't know. It's a little odd. It's more, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I like the ability to play on your opponent's turn, but then you basically have to rework the whole system.
you
so
complicate
that's
the
not
entire
happening.
game.
So
But
I guess I
the
like
coin.
the secrets, but yeah, yeah, we were talking about the coin.
So, first of all, I think that it's close to balanced. Very close. Because all the coin does is it gives you the mana advantage for one turn.
Yeah,
One.
that's not
it.
bad.
So, I don't think it's bad. Two things have to what? Two things have to change. One, the coin has to not count as a spell or card. Because that's just utterly ridiculous right now. As Zista said, that combo is ridiculous. And being able to bait counterspell with it is kind of ridiculous as well. Maybe instead of having it as an actual card, you have it as a button, like on the other side of your hero power, that you can just click when you want to use it. Because that way it won't complicate people, as it not counting as a card. Second thing, I think an extra card is good, but you should not be able to mulligan it. As in, you should draw your 3, you can only change out those 3, but you draw 2 on your first turn. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. If you get the coin, I don't think you need another card.
I think you do, because that way you have an early card advantage, but you're still losing on mana advantage every turn, except for 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think the card might be nice. Just because if you're like going first does give you quite a bit of an advantage,
A
depending
huge
on
advantage.
what you're doing. So I would like to see the changes maybe in steps, like see how it works if you take the spell tag off of it. You know what I mean? Like if you
I
just
think that's the
remove
main
that.
one, though. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind having the card, like giving them the card advantage.
I also agree with Squishy that it should not count as a card, and I actually think it should be a button on the opposite side of the hero power. That way, the questing adventure doesn't benefit off of it as well.
Well, there's more than just a questing adventure that benefits on it.
Well,
Rogue
right, but he's the
combos.
biggest one that I could think of off the top of
all
my head.
rogue combos, right?
Yeah.
So
All the rogue
Mambo
combos. Then, yeah, and then
Yeah.
you won't have stuff like the Twilight Drake, because if you happen to have that
Oh,
card
yeah.
too, like...
Well,
it's
here's the
just-
you don't want to. I wouldn't be too focused on the combos because you don't want to remove combos from the game. Like combos are that's a part of card games.
I'm not saying
but, like,
to remove the combos, but the fact that they could proc off the coin is more
Right.
what we're talking about.
no,
That
yeah,
should
no.
not happen. You should not have that
Yeah.
card proc combos. I love the rogue deck. I play the rogue deck all the time.
we both play the rogue deck.
And I'm telling you, from a rogue's perspective, it's overpowered. It should not be
No,
happening.
no, I get that, but you could do it other ways. You'd just be wasting cards. Like it's fine.
Right.
Like there are other ways to do it if you want to focus on having that combo, but you just have to wait a turn, which is fine because sometimes that's the problem with combos. Like you don't want it to be that early. Like if it's that early, then it's broken. But if you just take it, like you said, if you just take it a turn back.
Because
Maybe
of
it's not
that
that
card
big a
and
deal.
that combo, the way I played out the device guy and with the things, I killed a paladin on turn 4.
I've done that on a hunter without a
Yeah,
combo.
but I killed him with just those cards. I didn't play anything else. Like, I played maybe one other spell. I think Headcrack I had also. And in between that, and it was like... I don't know. It just seemed way too overpowered. He couldn't play anything. I felt bad for the guy. I was destroying him. Every time he put something out, he would put, like, one of his 1/1 minions out. I'd attack it with my rogue so he wouldn't attack the other dudes. I'd eat the 1 damage just so I could get 2 extra damage to him. It was just, I don't know.
I think the coin is good. It's a good buffer for being second. It gives you the mana advantage for 1 turn, and that's great. And it also gives you the advantage of getting a minion out early. Beat out your opponent for 1 turn. And I think that's what's important. Like, I think this might be one of the best ways to supplement being second.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said though, but you don't. I don't think you want it to be where like you're like, damn, I want to lose this coin toss because I want to go second.
Right.
Like I think the advantage probably should
That's
be.
where I am
going
at
first.
right now. The way the card works, I want to go second.
Right.
I do
Oh,
not
yeah.
want to be first.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we're all in agreement. I think that they should probably change some things about it. I don't know if they need to go so far as to nullify the card advantage. But maybe. I mean, if they switch it and say, let's try this and see where it's at, I would want to play a few games, seeing how it turns out. Because I think
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if having that extra card is the problem right now. I think the problem is just because if you want card advantage in this game, there are ways to get card advantage in this game,
Right.
which is cool. All right. And the only other thing we wanted to really hit this week was kind of this gold rate that you're seeing. Do you guys see a problem with how much gold you're earning in this game? Is it too slow, too fast for you?
Way too slow.
Slow.
Way too slow.
Now,
I
here's
understand.
I don't.
I understand that they want it semi-slow, so you're more tempted to buy the packs. I understand that.
It makes
Because
sense.
I personally, I spent already $30 in the arena. It's the numbers going up. It just keeps climbing. I've spent $30 playing that goddamn arena. It's just so much fun. And
Yeah.
the only reason I'm paying is because I'm like, all right, look, I'm sitting at 110 coins right now. If I play one, then all the gold that I get back, I'll be able to play another one. Like, that's my philosophy on that. But if I sit there and I'm like, oh, I'll just play some matches, you get 5 gold per 5 wins right now. That's averages 1 gold per win. That's
It's horrible.
ridiculous.
Right.
That should not. That's way too low. Especially when
think
you have
that's
card
gonna
packs
be
that
it.
cost 100 gold and arena entries that cost 150 gold. That. Are you kidding me?
I don't think that's going to be the way it is.
I think there should be ways to make it faster to be able to get it faster, but I think a baseline that could be fine. Maybe things like if you play throughout the week, like if they do a weekly reset type thing, where like you get 5 gold for your first 5 wins that week. Then if you play more, you get more the next time you hit 5 wins or something like that. But it resets at the end of the week because like. What you don't want to do is I don't think you don't want to encourage people to be like, oh, if you go on a winning streak or something like that, then you get more. Like I think they want to keep it baseline for people. If you play more, you get more of a reward. But like I don't know if they want it to be.
Here's what I'm thinking for that. During ranked mode, whatever your rank is, you should earn more gold based on your rank.
That's almost what they've said. So a couple things. First, CM Zeria, I don't know how to pronounce that. She said that they know that the gold gain is low and they're probably going to be fixing it. So they're finding out how to address it. That's good. Secondly, they've also I think they've also said that they're going to be rewarding gold based on your rank at the end of the week when it resets.
Okay, yeah.
As
I think they
far
need
as
to
I
fix
know-
the ranked system a little bit, but yeah.
Right, because right now you go up, at the end of the week it resets, you go back down, and you do it again. So if they add gold, depending on how high you got, I think that's a good addition. Lastly, if you just play games, if you get good at drafting crafting a deck, and then being able to just outplay your opponent in the arena, you can get unlimited arena runs from one arena run. And I think that's good, but there's kind of 2 extremes right now. You get tons of arena runs, or you kind of get none. So depending on how much you play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with the way the arena is set up right now.
I think the
I'm
arena is
fine with
perfect.
that.
I don't think there's an issue with the arena at all.
I think the ranked.
What
needs
would you
some
guys think
tweaking.
of 5 gold per win, and for every 5 losses, you get 5 gold?
I think that might be too much.
Yeah. No, you can't do that. And if you did that, you'd have to exclude concedes. because then someone could
Concedes
just join a
after
game,
Oh,
concede,
yeah, you could.
join a game, concede, join a game, concede,
Well,
join a
no,
game,
the way it
concede.
currently works is the other play. You don't. What is it? You can't concede. Oh, for experience, this is how it works. Until you hit a certain turn in there, you can't concede. So I think it might be like turn 6 or something like that. You cannot concede until turn 6 and get XP for your character. So if they just tack it on to the pre-existing system,
Yeah,
that would be
I don't.
fine.
I don't like giving people gold for losing. It seems weird. Like be like,
Yeah,
oh, you played
one
5
gold
games, you were
is-
terrible.
1 gold is minimal. 1 gold per loss. So if you do it every 5 losses, it's the current system for wins, which we've already stated is way too low. So I don't think that would be bad.
I don't
think
mind
they should
bonuses
up-
for
I just think they
amount
need to
of
update the number.
wins, but
It's
yeah.
just it's low enough of a number that you're not going to sit there and go, oh, I'm in turn 6, which is where most of the games are ending around that time. Like they're ending maybe 3 turns later or so, like that. So at that point, do you want to risk taking 1 gold, or do you want to just keep going to get the extra 4 gold? So
No,
I think 1 is fine.
I don't think they need to do
Well,
that. I
combine
think,
that
like
with daily
Squishy
quests
said,
too.
I think you need to be rewarded more for playing ranked because right now there's no incentive. Like, what's the point? Like, I've been having this issue. I play unranked just because I want to level my decks, but people are just playing that because what's the point in playing ranked? There's no
But
point in
here's the
playing
thing.
ranked.
What's the benefit or the disadvantage of playing ranked versus unranked? I started playing ranked, right? I was testing out a new deck, and then I realized I wasn't doing so well, so I closed it, and I started doing normal play. I did 1 match against some dude. It was I believe it was a mage, right? Then I shut rank off because I'm like, all right, maybe I'm getting paired against these people that are a little too high for me, whatever, that I should not be playing this deck with. I shut ranked off, went in, I got queued up against the same guy. So you're fighting the same opponents. It's not like you're fighting unranked opponents versus ranked opponents.
I don't know how the queue system works, but I think it needs to be there needs to be something. Like, there needs to be, like I said, like, there needs to be incentive to do ranked. Like, if they said that they're going to add gold rewards at the end of the week for doing well in ranked, then that's cool. But, like, there should be a difference. Like, there should be a difference that if you go into ranked, then you're playing against other people that want to play ranked, and that means that's the more competitive area. Because the people that don't spend the time, that want to just play and hang out and, you know, play these whatever decks, then let them play in the unranked area, and that seems fine. Or that's where you would go to test your deck that you want to play in ranked or something like that. That's all. I mean, this little things are in beta, so they're going to be testing this stuff out. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. I actually had written up a post on the forums that I know I tagged you guys in on Twitter to take a look at. I'd suggested to them some single-player content and stuff like that, and then I just read an interview last night after posting that at Gamescom, they said that they're going to be adding single-player content after it goes live. That's stuff that they're going to be
cool.
working on. So that's one thing that I thought was lacking from this,
That's
because
cool.
from a CCG like this, playing the opponents is fun and stuff like that, but having another option to go in another way, that's definitely something that
Yeah.
would be fun, especially for this kind of game. I would love to see some single-player content. Fighting Illidan was so much fun in the tutorial. I'd love to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then tournaments is another thing that they said that they're going to add some
I was just gonna
functionality
say
for.
that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, like, tournaments would be a really cool thing to see in that game. Like just say, like, oh, we're gonna do an arena tournament or a pre-constructed tournament. You know, just the different ways to get people to go in and do things. And maybe if you could find a way to do rewards for something like that, maybe everyone has to buy into a tournament or something. I don't know. Where it'd be
Here's the
similar
thing.
to the arena. Yes.
Here's the thing I have with that. If you have player-created tournaments, your own personal ones, right, and you do a gold entrance fee, and then you have the winner get gold, that's going to start doing gold trading. People are going to start making accounts up to do the low-level achievements, get the decks up to just get gold. They're going to pile all their accounts into one tournament, and they're just going to feed the gold to one of their guys. So they cannot do gold functionality for player-created tournaments. What they can do is do Blizzard sanctioned tournaments. and
Well,
have
that's
this
what I
be a
meant,
match that
not-
Blizzard opens, and you sign
Yeah.
up. You have 200 people, something like that, can sign up. You do a couple tournaments a day, or you do one every few hours, or something like that. You sign in for entrance fee of like 200 gold, whatever the case is. The winner, maybe even the top 5 people, or something like that, take home split pile of gold.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, it not player. You can do player created ones if you want, but there's no rewards for that. My
Right.
point was that they have basically a queue system. Do you want to play in the arena? Do you want to play in a tournament? Or you would maybe there's an animation. You know, you get to see the brackets. You get queued in. You draft a deck just like in the arena, but you see the brackets, and then there's a reward at the end based on, a standardized entrance fee for these that are a little more easy to see what's going on, maybe a little more competitive than the arena. They got to be careful. You don't want to pull away from the arena, but there's some really cool, interesting things that they could do with this. Maybe just having constructed tournaments. Maybe you leave the arena the way it is, and then you do a constructed tournament like we were just talking about. But it has to be, like you said, it would have to be through Blizzard, because then you don't want that other thing happening.
They could even do things like that in the reward system. Maybe the winner could even get an additional pack. That would be cool, because
Yeah.
you're not giving everybody packs. You could give the winner. That doesn't
Yeah.
seem too ridiculous. And then you could even give them a reward, like some special gold card border that you can only get from the tournament to incentivize people to keep running this tournament.
Or you have seasonal tournaments or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you get seasonal rewards, or I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff they could do. Anyways, I think we've gone way off the topic of this gold income rate. We're gonna go talking. I think Hearthstone's gonna be a big chunk of this podcast from now on.
Definitely.
Yep.
But like I said, this is not just going to be the HXE Warcraft. It's going to be HXE Blizzard podcast, basically, at this point. And we'll continue the lore segment. We're going to hit Hearthstone, probably some Diablo 3 with this new news coming out. And we're going to get some people in here to talk about StarCraft, because I think that the StarCraft professional season's got some interesting things going on as we speak. Like, it's getting to a important part. So we're going to delve into that, get some people that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to StarCraft, maybe to get in here and talk with us.
And I do even have some plans. Probably I have way too much stuff on my plate right now. I know I'm going to be playing a lot of PS4 when that comes out, and I'm going to be playing Kingdom Hearts when this comes out now, next, the 10th, whatever, so that's 2 weeks. I keep telling Indy I'm going to play Fable. I'm definitely going to be doing that, but at some point, I really
you will.
want to start. I'm going to stream the career mode for StarCraft. I've never played it, and that's something that I really want to go back and do and play career mode of that and the expansion Heart of Swarm. Like, I want to play both of those.
You'll
campaigns.
really like it.
So
Got a lot of plans.
I will be able to actually talk a little more about StarCraft when it comes to that when we get to that point.
Yeah. Oh man, we really hit a chord with the chat went crazy when we started talking about the ranked and all that and the different rewards. I think that's a topic we're gonna have to bring back up.
Definitely.
Seems like a good one.
Yeah.
I think the crickets need their own introduction the next time we come back.
Well,
They're gone now. Let's not
we have a cricket intro somewhere.
Never mind, they're back. Okay. Last thing, CM Zaria on Twitter, she posted that the next wave of opt-in beta invites is going to be on Tuesday.
Check
so if
your
you're not beta
emails.
yet, have a chance to get it on Tuesday, so make sure to be checking those inboxes.
Yep.
What do we got for people in here?
I am aware that people that have already gotten into the beta through the fan sites actually can receive an additional key. So I know if any one of us get one, there might be some kind of contest or something we might hold. Who knows?
Yeah, if I get any extras, it's completely up for grabs. I'm happy to toss it in there for whatever giveaways.
Let's not get
Go
ahead.
ahead, giveaway.
All right. So
Cat?
I think that's gonna wrap it up. We don't want to keep going all night, because we will if we start talking about Hearthstone. But so let me get this up and rolling. Gotta get some actual music in here this time.
As
for the
Squishy
outro.
plays Hearthstone on his iPad.
Squishy's
I
been
can
playing the
see
whole
it.
time. The past three subjects we've been talking about. I see him down
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Oh, that's so glary.
there. Yeah.
I
You don't want
can
to
see
bring it
it.
too close because then
You can
you'll
see it.
turn your whole screen. Yeah.
I can see it.
All right, Zista. Do you got anything you wanted to talk about other than you just said all your upcoming stuff?
Yeah,
Anything
exactly.
else?
So just follow me right there. Zista _.
Yep. And
Twitch/Zista and Facebook Zista, YouTube, where all these videos for the podcast archives can be found at Dead Zista.
Cool. Oh yeah. Squishy. You know the deal.
Playing Hearthstone on the iPad. But otherwise, at Squishy and Twitch.tv/squishy. Same thing. I just finished the Immersius guide, so if you're playing in 5.4, you might want to go check that out.
Sweet. Indy.
You guys
people
can
find
find,
you at?
me at IndieGorona or IndieGorona on Twitch. I do plan on streaming some stuff very soon, but the past few weeks have been pretty crazy for me, and Hearthstone, you know, has kind of sucked me into the vortex that is it. And
Yes.
yeah, so I'm addicted. But no, I do plan on actually releasing a new series of videos to my YouTube channel. So if you guys are still lurking about there and you think it's dead, it is going to be coming back very soon.
I'm bringing it back. What about fanfic? You been doing any of that?
I am about to publish my final chapter this evening. It's going to complete my first book.
Nice.
So that's, you know, and my dog is snoring, so there's that too.
That's oh, that's not me. That's the yes.
That's the cricket.
Goodness.
And then there's me
Monster?
at the Real Sophist. Twitch TV/The Real Sophist. I've been trying to stream more. Basically, anytime I stream anytime I'm playing a game, I'll try and stream it. That way, you can watch some crappy League of Legends or some Diablo, maybe with some Squishy. Maybe even Zista if we get lucky. People from chat.
Zista plays
would love
Diablo?
doing it.
What is this madness?
He's got one. He does. That's it. You can find us at www.thehxc.com and here, HXC Gaming. That's the Twitch TV channel. That's it. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.